What's up guys, this is Igor in Russia. In this video I'm gonna be reacting to this dude from YouTube and NKFRZ or something like that. Kind of cringe, but one of the biggest YouTubers about Russia though. I'm a foreigner who travels from Europe, who lives in Europe, who's lived all his life in Europe, and actually travel to Russia and film the reality in Russia and translate it for you guys to see the truth about Russia. So I'm gonna be reacting as a foreigner, a true foreigner who understands Russia and Russian. And let's see what kind of well, I have to just react to this video. This dude is hilarious, for all the wrong reasons. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and let's get into it.
If you guys have been on YouTube or TikTok a lot recently, you might have noticed these very interesting propaganda videos that are essentially trying to compare the famous Western capitals of the world, such as Paris, London.
I kind of film a lot of metro stations. I haven't done comparison videos that much yet.
And authoritarian in the West, for example, Russia, China, and I've actually even seen some comparing Western cities to Pyongyang, North Korea. And usually what these videos do is that they basically cherry pick the nicest looking footage of Moscow or Beijing or Pyongyang, and then they compare that to the cherry pick's worst possible looking footage of these Western cities. And these usually either feature protests or some sort of civil unrest, or clips where European cities are just covered in trash, or just...
Alright, 44 seconds in and I have to comment. First of all, how does that differ from actually even the mainstream media? I have to say, how does that differ from the mainstream media? Have you ever seen anything nice except these videos that he's talking about, which are like YouTube content? Have you ever seen anything good about Russia? Think about it. Well, no. And when I release my videos and just normal, ordinary videos, not trying to prove a point or anything like that, usually people say, oh my God, they have food. Oh my God, it's so clean. That's the real reactions from people. And then because all you see from Russia is that everything is bad. People get arrested on the streets, and that's why people say, is it safe to be on the streets in Russia as a foreigner? Oh my God. So basically that's so funny that this guy is basically, I have to say, I liked some of the videos way back in the day. Sure, he's been like critical and that's fine. But now that he's like an escapee from the Russian rule, living nicely with Western money from his subscribers and members maybe or whatever. So now he's been very loud and I'd say he's anti-Russian, sure, officially anti-Russian government maybe, but basically he's also like anti-Russian, and I don't know, that's so low of him. For him, maybe not low, but that's to trash talk in any video, everything is horribly bad in Russia. That's his main point. And a lot of YouTubers, the biggest YouTubers, are actually with this content. And I do understand it because I'm trying my best and YouTube is trying to block me, because you should only show negative about Russia. That's probably the success story behind his channel. Or is it success? I don't know. I don't like this already, but I'm gonna watch it for you guys. Usually it's so cringy, I can't. Alright, pushing forward.
Just simply footage of a lot of Muslims out on the street, because most of these videos are usually posted by people who hate immigrants. And for me as a Russian, this is really not new.
Weird.
This is a pretty common trope on Russian TV, in Russian propaganda, saying essentially that all of Europe is in complete disrepair, is completely destroyed, just covered in trash, and actually people live terribly.
Well guys, today I found I watched some Russian video, Russian news. It's not like that.
I made this video recently called, Is this the center of London? Let's compare it with Moscow.
Alright, let's compare with Moscow.
2 million views in 2 weeks, and the comments...
I like this channel, by the way, this Moscow Walks.
Dear God, I can't even believe that this is possible. And they have the nerve to teach us how to live. Dear God, may you protect us from all of this scum. Sacred...
Oh my God.
Ukrainians, this is your dream. This is your paradise.
Listen. All right, sure. That happens everywhere. That kind of contrast and, over the top commenting. I don't know who they are or whatever, trolls or not. Probably not, just some people. But I've lived all my life in foreign countries, foreign countries. I've lived all my life in Finland, traveled all around Europe because, you know, Schengen area, etc. It's so one thing that was over the top, this London, never been to London. But when Europeans drink in many countries, it looks like that. And one thing that I see in Russia, people don't behave like that. You know, there's a order and that type of stuff. People don't, I don't know, maybe, for some reason, you know, genetic culture, people don't act like that, making that so much dirt. So how do you explain that? Pretty far-fetched. That's his tactics. You know, everything is wrong. Already claiming that these people are racist. You have to be crazy racist. This is basic propaganda. Basic rules. Create an image of those you oppose as bad as you can. You know, they hate Muslims, etc.
Time today. Myself, as a person who's lived in Russia for his entire life, but who's also traveled to Europe.
Wow. He's also traveled to 3 countries in Europe, so now he's gonna...
Just a little bit.
Yeah, he's gonna comment in just a little bit, because he's now an expert. He's lived all his life in Russia, making a YouTube channel that is so over-the-top anti-Russian. And he's been to 3 countries as a tourist, so now I'm gonna tell you the truth. Is these videos fact or not? I guess that makes you a specialist, right?
Okay, so we're in the center of Moscow. This is, I know this area. This is Kitai-Gorod. I mean, I really don't have much to say here, to be honest. It's just walking around the streets of Moscow. As a Russian, I've already said a billion times on this channel that Moscow is not a good representation of Russia. We even have a saying in Russia, Moskva не Россия.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've heard it. And
Some of governments, all the taxes basically go to Moscow and then are distributed around.
Yeah, and that's actually true. The life in Moscow is very different. But then again, sure, I'm pretty sure that capital cities are very different from smaller cities as well elsewhere. Maybe not as much, but I have to say, you know, there's more life in the countries with not that many big population. So sure, you know, there is a difference, but he's true about that. I've been to Moscow, finally making a good, because St. Petersburg is the main city I go to and explore the regions around and try to film all Russia actually. Kaliningrad, etc. Veliki Novgorod now. Anyway, I traveled to Moscow and I have to say that, yeah, it's very different in Moscow. It's a bit more, it's nicer there. But for starters, I have to say, I cannot complain about any cities I've been to Russia because, you know, they're full of life and even the smaller ones, sure, there's a differences. For example, if you go to Vyborg, which is a small town, it's different nighttime, sure, but still. Yeah, but anyways, I give him a point. Will this be the only one?
Moscow gets the most of the money. They also want Moscow to be basically, you know, the vitrina коммунизма.
The storefronts of communism. That's an old thing, sure.
European country that is doing really well. We're walking down the streets. Cheapest car in Moscow, by the way, guys, right here.
That's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of money in there. And this YouTube is full of these videos with, you know, guys filming girls. He's laughing as if this channel is the only one who makes it. I don't appreciate it either. But there's channels from Turkey I've seen that, you know, they put girls up front. That's the...
We all know why you're so interested in Moscow, my guy. By the way, guys, I have one thing to say about Moscow.
Let's hear it.
Watching this video and looking at it, oh my god, Moscow's so clean. This is one thing they don't realize. Moscow is a fucking joke, especially their pavements.
Okay, pavements. Oh my god. He's found a shaky pavement in one of his videos.
Here's one of the parts of Moscow that I love, is that you know, the ground, basically, the tiles are all fucked up all the time.
Yeah, not in Georgia where you lived as a... Yeah, that never happens elsewhere. Moscow, basically his logic is, and he's gonna go on a rant about it. So his idea is that the pavement is a effing joke. The city of Moscow is huge area. There's like unofficially like 20 million people living in the area, or maybe more. And he's found in his shitty videos, he's found one pavement area which suck, meaning it's a shaky one. And he goes on a rant here. I've been to Moscow. Well, unfortunately, I didn't find any shaky pavements. I found plenty of St. Petersburg, but so what, you know? I wouldn't go, that wouldn't be my punchline for this video, but I guess that basically says he doesn't a lot of things to say, maybe, if he goes on a rant against Russian pavements, Moscow pavements.
Is getting crazy money off of it. I mean, this is actually awful. Like, honestly. I mean,
I wouldn't say it's awful, and I live in Finland, which has mostly tip-top streets. Sometimes you find these stuff, and pretty fast they are also renovated.
Блять, это пиздец. Она просто вся ходуном ходит.
It's flip-flopping back and forth.
This is all intentional as part of a corruption scheme.
I wonder if his viewers are like, yeah, I believe you, man. Yeah, it sucks.
Every few months or so. So the center of Moscow is essentially a never-ending fucking construction site where there are
also in Finland, I've seen that, not because of corruption reasons maybe, but okay, now he uses some archive pictures of bad pavements.
Nikolskaya Street right here, this is basically...
But anyway, in Finland they renovate the streets really often and keep them in good shape, but...
Looks good, what can I say? Okay, so we get it, let's now go and check out London.
Alright, he said it looks good and nothing complaining there, let's go to London.
The switch has happened. Oh my lord, guys. Look at this. Failed state UK, guys. Whatever Boulder Bank...
Failed state UK.
UK. Look at all this trash and look at all these people walking around. This is Soho district, center of the city, guys.
So, for example,
LGBT flags, you know.
I know that there's a lot of people here. For example, in let's say in Helsinki, you don't see that much people unless it's like a huge celebration and people go out. But usually it's dead empty. But anyways, if people do go out, there's a lot of trash usually. And for example, I just been to. Where was I? It was the Denmark, and I was in Denmark in Copenhagen. It was I think it was Friday night, I think. Yeah, it was Friday night, and it looked like that. It was an ordinary thing. It was crowded. It was packed of like teenagers, early 20s people, drunk as like. Totally drunk, you know, all around stuff, dirt, you know, vomit. So, and I was like, oh my God. And I'm the one visiting like every few weeks and considering St. Petersburg my home in Russia, seeing that. And I don't see that over there, never. And so, you know, he's going to make the distinction now that this happened only here because right here it was like a Pride week. And he's going to go on a rant to say otherwise. Well, my point is that happens actually, for real, for sure, in Europe. And no matter what they do afterwards, this is the behavior around the Europe. So whether you like it or not, it's up to you. I don't care. I don't like it. I feel, you know, but anyways, let's go on watching.
For Russia, that's a no-no, definitely. Come on. Wow, guys, I cannot believe it that London is always this fucking dirty, guys. It's true, right? This is truth. Yes, guys, look at this. I mean...
So yeah, London is... so he says that actually happens all the time.
I'm pretty sure you guys can confirm this is what London genuinely looks like.
But he has to somehow attack Russia, remember, because he cannot say anything good about Russia, never in his videos. So let's see what's gonna do.
So fucking dirty. I believe it's actually pretty simple if you actually watch this video, because if you look at it, there's a lot of people with LGBT flags and pins and also...
Alright, now he notices that this event is happening during the Pride week or whatever.
It's always usually a huge party, you know...
It doesn't explain why people behave like that, why people throw trash all around.
Sure that the next day none of this trash...
Super civilized people, nation, the great nation, acting like trash and throwing trash. So what's the explanation for that?
To show Central London to be, you know, as dirty as possible, and also
maybe, of course, and then again, those dudes, he says already that it's a propaganda, but then again, he makes the same contrast videos all the time, you know. He wouldn't say, yeah, it's a little bit dirty. He would say, this is totally effed. You know, that's how the YouTube works.
Just so happened, absolutely coincidentally, that the day that I was in Austria,
He was in Austria. Wow, the tourist was in Austria and he saw Austrians. And now he makes the distinction that whole Europe is clean because he saw Austrians behaving like that. His logic is failed logic. That's what I'm trying to say. And he's actually, the logic supports his thinking and what he's trying to achieve with the video.
So much trash, like, I wonder how long it's gonna take them to actually, you know, clean all of this up. And guess what, guys? The Pride event was still going on, and we actually decided to leave it and just go around the city to check out some locations, some sites. And guys, literally 2 hours later, I was back at the exact same location where the Pride event took place, and it was pristinely fucking clean.
All right. So yeah, now he tells that he actually went to the spot afterwards, just a few hours, and it was clean. Because it's Austria, you know, I can believe that. And I wouldn't say that if the party would continue throughout the night, which it didn't here, what would happen. But I guess, sure, this was during the day, so why not? I want to hear what is his attack against Russia now, because now he's only said that pavement that isn't good on this one small street in a city of 20 million people, so funny guy.
I've already cleaned up the streets pretty
I feel bad for him actually.
because they were throwing around a bunch of stuff, but
So what kind of event has to be that you have to go on the cars with these riot water sprinkles and clean up the streets? How much, sorry for my French, how much shit has to be there, so you have to clean it that way, as I see in this video.
In my hometown of Chelyabinsk in Russia, for example, when we have the city birthday,
All right, now he mentions Chelyabinsk.
I swear to God, for like the next 2 weeks, there's like empty trash bags and fucking cans of beer just floating around the main square next to like Lenin standing.
All right,
this
so
is real.
I haven't been to Chelyabinsk, and I would like to go there definitely, no matter how dirty it is or whatever. Definitely want to see the city and get to know the history, etc., and see the history. But I haven't seen anywhere I've been to, whether it's like a smaller town outside St. Petersburg, Moscow. Usually it's super clean. For example, in St. Petersburg, there's only like one area where I sometimes see a few cans here and there, and it's kind of a dirty. But that's a city of 7 million people, and usually it's always clean, except like maybe some corner which the cleaner has missed. So I have to like say that his example, whether it's truth or not, I actually don't believe him. I don't believe anything he says because I don't have the reason to believe him. Basically he's a liar. He's trying to he will create these videos no matter where it's truth or not. So. But yeah, let's go and continue his watch. He says that it's all over some empty bags. Empty bags. I wouldn't say it's bad. Full bags of trash would be bad. But some empty trash bags. Okay.
This up, I've seen this many times.
You've seen it many times. You can see this, and I'm sure every weekend or every few days. What he shows from London.
To show Moscow and Russia as
I might be wrong
possible.
though, from London, never been there, but I assume based on my experience from Europe, living in Europe full time.
Although it's kind of ironic, I would say that to Russians who have no ability to travel anywhere in the world and have no money, because most of Russians, like 70-80%, have never been outside of Russia because they simply don't have the means to. And that is exactly precisely why this propaganda works so well. And
listen, 70% according to his knowledge, info, hasn't traveled outside Russia. Living in Russia, there's so much to see in Russia alone. But sure, cultural exchange, it's important. And so true. But sure, not all people have the money. I don't know how many people travel abroad, elsewhere. Plus, of course, the Russian, maybe it's financial thing, but but I think a lot of people travel, even though, despite these percentages, people travel further or closer. You know, you have many. He says that Russians cannot travel anywhere. Even during these times now, Russians travel all around Turkey, even European countries. I see that tons of people coming on the buses from Helsinki to St. Petersburg, and they all been traveling somewhere. I guess that's the 30% he's talking about. That's has traveled somewhere. So many lies. I feel, you know, that this guy's he's got this one face, one look that he gives. It's like YouTube's Steven Seagal. Even though I like Steven Seagal and I don't like him, but never mind that. Still, we'll use this example. Is YouTube Steven Seagal? Oh my God.
Now, let's check out some comments. Thank
All right.
God that I was lucky to be born in Russia. The amount of trash on the streets of London is really not pleasant for the eye. And also, there is an infinite amount of the homosexuals. I'm looking at us and my soul is happy that we are not
But listen,
like them.
even though officially everything is, even though, for example, in many European countries, it's all right to be whatever your sexuality is with different background or whatever, it doesn't matter. But still, there's tons of hate even in these countries. So don't make that as if you know, the Russians are only the ones who are homophobic. You know, that's the thing all across Europe, even till this day. So, you know, be honest, man.
The difference between Moscow and London is just insane. It's like sky and earth.
It's true. Moscow is the most amazing city there probably is in the world. Not my favorite, but probably it's the best, I'm sure.
Tell this to me, please. I've had to go to school and like anywhere basically ever my entire life through shit like this. Like this.
And he uses these pictures always, again and again.
And most cities in Russia
You can always find dirt from any place around the world.
the municipal like cleaning services in Russia just suck ass. Like I already said in previous videos.
Cleaning service. That's, by the way, the country and city where most of people say always that, oh my God, it's so clean.
It's also icy as shit. It's like literally impossible to walk.
Icy, sure, it can be icy. I give you that.
City that I'm from, which has over 1 million people, by the way.
Oh my God, 1 million people.
For example, in St. Petersburg, the second largest city in Russia, second most important city in Russia, Russia's cultural capital. And don't get me wrong, guys, I love St. Petersburg. However, I'm sorry, but walking in St. Petersburg,
True.
in the city center or anywhere in winter is fucking awful.
Yeah, true. It's a bit. It can be risky. It didn't stop me from loving the city, though.
Either trying to, well, either.
But still, yet again, do you have to actually use these topics in your video now, saying how dirty it is? You know, now we're talking. Now he's going quite far from the theme to explain himself.
The roads are not in the best condition right now either, and stuff.
And once again, the city of St. Petersburg, the center is renowned UNESCO heritage site because it's so old. So I have to defend a little bit, not too much, that you cannot do too much in that area because it's actually very, very historic. But true, second point to him.
And it's even worse in more provincial cities. But Moscow, of course. Moscow is, you know, that's where, you know, first-class citizens live in Russia, so...
What's his thing? What he's so mad about?
7 months out of the year, because they're covered in shits. I don't really think that means that you live in the most tight...
If he hates Russia so much, why he makes videos about it, you know? He lives in Georgia now, make videos about Georgia.
Alright, so you guys might think that that is pretty bad. Well, actually I have something worse. Because on the same channel we have this video right here called Is This America 2? Moscow, Philadelphia.
So, you know, his source seems to be one channel who makes walking videos, which is not a propaganda video.
Wow guys, what is this? Center of Moscow. Awesome, dude. Fucking awesome. And look at these pristine streets and cathedrals. Yes, Russia, based Orthodox country, not like the West that's, you know, is being destroyed by immigrants or whatever, because obviously that's what these people always say. Yes, look at
Oh my God.
Look at this pavement.
He talks like a guy who hasn't been in Europe, whose only source is internet, which is a sick place.
Kremlin. I wonder why it looks so good. I really wonder why. Alright, let's skip forward now and see what America is like. Okay, there we go.
No, and this thing here, I haven't been to US, but I've watched a lot of content, American content, not like comparison videos or anything. He's laughing about this thing, but any American, and I got a lot of American viewers and contacts, it's crazy stuff, and this happens in most of the cities. The drug problem is crazy. LA, you know, just 5 minutes walk from the city, from the Venice beach. You can have crazy areas where you cannot walk in peace, and you shouldn't, basically. So, you know.
You're thinking, and I'm probably gonna try to defend this and say that, like, but actually America is not all this. Well, yes, that is actually a good point to make. Not all of America is like this. But also, yes, this is kind of fucking inexcusable, quite honestly.
So it's now inexcusable. So maybe you should have thought about it. And why he uses the videos for his source, the Russian videos. Watch American content. You know, American YouTubers who travel the country, etc., and just showing the real world without any, you know, information. So
addicts or whatever who are literally squatting in like empty Soviet commie blocks that have been abandoned for decades.
He found one block from one area in one city, Novokuznetsk. So he found this one block. So how did you have to watch that? Did you have to search for that video long? Because in States, once again, you can find that problem right in your face.
Because back in the day, when I was a kid, a teenager, whatever, I remember there would be
even the Wild Siberian just came to Los Angeles. He filmed that as well, because the problem is right in your face. And I know that before that, based on the American content that I watch.
Because these days, I do believe that there's way less of that in Russia, especially in Chelyabinsk, at least in my neighborhood. There's way less like syringes laying around, so they've done something there, you know. However, Russia still has a major drug problem, especially with, you know.
So he said that Russia has less drug problem than it used to, like before Putin. So, but he couldn't keep there because I guess his viewers would get angry. So what he did was. He continued by saying, however, oh my God.
Ukrainians, this is your dream. This is your parent.
Oh my God.
Yes, guys, obviously Ukraine's fight for freedom and sovereignty. It's because Ukrainians want to, you know,
some Ukrainian content, of course, because otherwise he's Russian. He has to make these certain comments he has to say, but otherwise, because he's afraid people gonna turn on him because he's like this liberal Russian.
The States. Thank God that I live in Russia.
Yeah.
What fucking Soviet bullshit is this?
So yeah, this is funny.
For you it's hard to
and this is what I've been thinking about. You know, he's Russian who's escaped Russia, only because of this mobilization, or probably because he needs some money from his donations. So what he does is that he laughs at the people who says, "Thank God I live in Russia." So people, I think he's like a, you know, not just because of the content and not because of this world events. I think this guy is basically a traitor. And well, I guess it's obvious actually. This guy is a traitor. He's a traitor because he laughs at the people who are saying honestly that they thank God I live in Russia. So he thinks that Russia is so bad that everybody needs to escape it. That's Western propaganda. Everybody wants to escape them. Everybody wants to live elsewhere. But guess what? A lot of people wants to live elsewhere, even from the best countries of the world, because the grass is greener on the other side. But in Russia, you cannot be proud of where you live. That's his ideology. This guy I think he's a scum. No matter where you want to live. But you shouldn't disrespect people. I can say a lot of stuff about places I live. People who have low self-esteem are gonna like that's the signal for them to start trash talking. You know, people can live whatever they want to make their own decisions. You made your own. You're a nationless dude who's begging for money from your Western supporters, And God forbid you say anything that makes them angry. There's a few YouTubers who's done that, and they're like, I think they're pathetic.
Understand that people deserve to have self-expression and that anybody can be a creative person. I understand that you've grown up in a society where everybody has to be a fucking cog in a machine, and you still love.
Yeah, they're machines for loving their country. There's a lot of reasons to love Russia. You know, people lives there. Culture, history, you know, achievements, language.
Nazis are in Ukraine, by the way, guys. These are just so.
Oh my God, this guy is sick.
It's what they drove their people to with their freedom.
All right. I cannot watch this. I almost watched it full just for you guys. I lost like tons of brain cells because of this. This is horrific bullshit. This guy is long time he's been fake. He has fake laugh, fake hair. I don't know. Everything is done for the video camera from this one perspective that he makes. All right, guys, amigo in Russia, foreigner filming Russia, reality, culture, locations, sites. Please comment what you think of this dude, what you think of the video. Please subscribe to my video, and let's guys take this up a notch. And see you guys in the next video. Пока-пока.